Welcome to Newark Made, where we bring you the voices of people shaping Newark's future. I'm Marcus Randolph, and today's guest is Garth Naar, CEO of Avatar Tech and a seasoned telecommunications leader with over 25 years of experience. From his early days engineering intelligent switches at Bell Labs Telcordia to co-founding Ramp Up America, a nonprofit focused on fiber tech education, Garth has focused his career on connecting the unconnected. His work in Newark, supporting local fiber optic technician training, winning Best IT Collaboration at the 2025 New Jersey Excellence in Technology Awards, working with Newark Fiber, the city's broadband service, showcases the transformative power of technology and community investment. Garth, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So education clearly has been very important to you. You're a Morgan State grad. Shout out to all the HBCUs. But your education has been deeply rooted in technology, but at one point you did pivot into real estate.
Yes.
So talk to us about your journey and what eventually pulled you back to fiber optics and specifically doing it here in Newark, New Jersey.
Awesome. So yeah, I have an electrical engineer background, and when I left Belcor, I focused on real estate development and had a number of properties in northern New Jersey, Brooklyn, and Baltimore, Maryland. But I always found myself more intrigued with the technology side of the development and making sure that the security cameras are right and the access control and a lot of the low voltage, IoT devices are well integrated into those projects, including public Wi-Fi in the hallways and internet. So with that continuing to pull on me, I decided to just focus on the telecommunication part and start that business and focus on that. I had a degree of success with developing mobile apps, and I did create an app called Brooklyn Quality of Life app for then Senator Eric Adams, Brooklyn Borough Senator, and it was in the front page of the Daily News for a crime fighting or crime reporting app, which is very new at the time. Mm-hmm. So I then, living in New Jersey, I then spoke with folks that I knew in Newark, seeing if they might want mobile apps. And at that time, they told me that's cool and all, but there's a bigger project that Newark is working on, which is fiber optics and creating Newark Fiber, and that more assistance was needed in that regards. And that made me dig deep into my Bell Labs, Belcor background to see how I could be of assistance and become a vendor. For Newark.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's definitely for sure, a connection between real estate development and technology. I mean, smart buildings. I mean, so much has happened, really over the last 10 years in particular about buildings being so self-sufficient. Right. But you did touch on the city of Newark's municipal fiber infrastructure and the role that you're playing. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Newark is one of the few cities in the country that has a municipally owned fiber infrastructure system, and it's used here by public buildings, but also there's sort of a niche product that's pushed out to residential buildings as well and business owners. So let's talk a little bit about that. Specifically, it's 288 strands. That's a very technical thing, but a city-owned network offering broadband speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. But let's talk about it practically. Can you help our listeners understand what Newark Fiber means for businesses and how it creates opportunities that may not exist in other places?
Sure. When I first got engaged with the project, I was super excited and proud of the city of Newark for embarking on such a project. At the time, Newark was like one of 3 known cities that had municipally owned fiber. I believe it was Newark, Chattanooga, and Seattle back then. There may be more cities that have come online since then, but the city is very innovative by even tackling that project. And the benefits to the city are manyfold. As we know, the digital economy is massive. The data economy is larger than big data is bigger than big oil right now. So at the foundation of all of this are those internet connections that we use through fiber. So a couple of things happen when a city like Newark embarks on something like this. One, having that high-speed internet available in the city undoubtedly attracted more companies and digital economy-based companies.
Right, it's a tool
to the city. Right. Because now you could get a connection that was a gigabit or better, whereas some of the carriers may have been a little slower to decide what neighborhoods of Newark were worthy of that type of bandwidth, and would have maybe held back to see what the demand is like first, to see what kind of money they can make before they make that kind of investment. So with the city doing that first, I believe it made the city very attractive. And you have companies like Audible, which is an internet-based business. There were companies that were moving from like Parsippany to Newark. I believe Mars, Wrigley, around that time as well. So I think it just added to the case to show that Newark was tech friendly and could potentially become a Silicon alley of sorts in Newark. But then there's benefits to the residents as well. Right. I remember COVID happening and the young folks being sent home to connect to their studies from their homes. Right. Many found out along with the city that they did not have adequate connections. Right. Even if they had connections, mom and dad might have needed it to connect to their jobs. There could be multiple kids that need to connect with school, and there just wasn't enough bandwidth to go around, even if they had a connection. We got the call to quickly connect up recreation centers throughout Newark. Right. About 7 or 8, so that at a minimum, and credit to Mayor Ras Baraka and the leadership for thinking quickly and utilizing the resources that they had to commission us to connect those buildings quickly. So we got our trucks out and we dragged those fiber cables across the lines and quickly created handoffs along with the Newark Fiber program to provide internet to those rec centers, so that if you didn't have it at home, you could at least there was somewhere where you could go. Right.
Yeah. Right. So you really touched on not just the importance of good broadband access, we all need it, but it's a great opportunity for the city and for the people who live here. And you've been very intentional about bringing others along and making sure people not just benefit from sort of the back end or maybe sort of the user interface, but also sort of the front side of what does this all mean and how can you get engaged and really learn about it. And to that end, you co-founded with a couple of partners, Ramp Up America, to train fiber technicians here in Newark. So tell the folks a little bit, like what inspired you to do that. You're a pretty busy guy, then you started something else, right? Right. And then, tell us a couple of success stories of people who've come through the program that stick out.
Awesome. So as if I didn't have enough on my plate at the time, one of my main driving thoughts behind that was I looked at a lot of the landscape of the businesses that are doing business in Newark. And, I lamented a bit that a lot of the companies, the ones that are getting like the major contracts, it seemed, were just here, they did the work, they got the contracts, and then they went back off to, wherever they were from, Pine Brook or Sayreville. Not anything wrong with these other towns or whatever, but I lamented the fact that there wasn't anything being done to, I guess, bridge the gap with, I guess, citizens of Newark as well. And, I thought to myself, well, I want those contracts too, but I don't want to be like those companies. So as if I'm not to be like those companies, I have to create something that will reach back and create a pathway so that I could connect contract opportunities with job and career opportunities. So Ramp Up America is that entity that, and shout out to my co-founders, Derek Law and James Walker with Ramp Up America.
Sure.
I couldn't do it without them. They help make the lifting much lighter with that, with their contributions to the training. But it's been very exciting setting that up and getting people ramped up to with knowledge and real certification training. A lot of it backed by the New Jersey Department of Labor that we won PACE grants for to get folks in. I could go deeper, but I don't want to get too long-winded. But I want to make sure I answer your question.
Yeah, a couple standout stories.
Standout stories, right? So our first cohort, we won a $500,000 PACE grant from the New Jersey Department of Labor with our partners at Essex County College and T3. And in our first cohort, Avatar Tech. So another backstory of this was that at the time too we were being courted by the IBEW to join and do be a part of the union, but we wanted to make sure that if we needed to call people from the hall that we would have we have a 90% Newark-based workforce, and so that we would still be able to, have that, right? So, so part of the negotiations was that we needed to get some of our trainees that we were training into the hall. And at first, I thought that, there was an issue with them potentially gatekeeping some of the careers and job opportunities there, but then I realized that they had real concerns about taking in people and them sitting on the bench. So I think we struck a good median of where I was able to secure a project, and then at the same time we had our first cohort graduating, and I was able to say, hey, I need these people to be on that project. And because I had already some work already lined up for them, the hall was able to accept them as apprentices.
That's significant. Yeah.
So they accepted 6 out of the cohort, and another 2 that wasn't in the cohort. But I think that was a very significant pathway to the IBEW, because I know that other training programs have tried to, bridge that connection. Because once they're there as apprentices, they now have a world of training available to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In a bunch of different subjects. So we have local, not to name names, but definitely 6 out of the first cohort that is. We put them on a project that we got working at Newark Public Schools. So, and they did a fantastic job. All the feedback that we got was that our work on those schools was the best workmanship of all of for the few schools that we did, was the best workmanship. So it was I was very proud of our guys.
Sure.
For putting their best foot forward, and getting that kind of recognition.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's awesome. I mean, so clearly you have a lot of experience then working with people here in Newark, mentoring them. So it's great way to sort of segue. So there are definitely people who still want to break into the tech field. You have seen firsthand the talent pool that's here in Newark. But what do you think are, if you could name a couple of big strengths that we have in our talent pool here in Newark, and then for people who might still be sitting on the fence about, investing in our workforce here, like what advice could you give them?
Okay, so the talent pool in Newark is awesome. One, it's naturally diverse,
True,
right?
true.
So if you just put it out
Which is a
there,
good thing.
you're
Right.
just gonna get DEI, automatically just from making it available to Newark, and that includes your, what we found is we've got a great amount of a cross section of people from different nationalities, and of course, local born Americans, and given the opportunity, people in Newark will outperform their counterparts, because what I found is that the folks that we've given the opportunity to, it wasn't lost upon them the importance of that shot that they got, and they definitely came with it, and so I recommend, especially if you're willing to do things like bring certain curriculums for your company to make sure that you're helping to prep people before coming in. Yep. My only, I guess my only regret is that I would want to. I feel like there's more talent that
Than
I
you
would
can
want
take
to
on.
than I
Right.
can take on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the more talent that we're even cultivating within the programs that we have, that I would love to take on, but it's a balancing act of getting those contracts and being able to place that talent on there. Of course, you don't want to be in a situation where you take on, you get great people, you take
Right.
them
Then
on,
you can't place them.
then
Right.
you can't place them.
Right.
You don't have the work there. So we're I'm still figuring that out, like how to make sure we're spending enough time developing opportunities and getting opportunities. As you know, the state has a huge challenge and a disparity in contracting with companies
Yes.
like mine.
Absolutely.
That's all documented, not only on the state level but also on the county level. So we're fighting that good fight to let folks know that we're here. Not only are we here, but we outperform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You touched on it a little bit earlier in the conversation, but recently Avatar Tech became a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW, local union, which is huge. I mean, that's very significant.
Thank you.
So maybe this is we're forecasting a little bit, but as a result of that, like what opportunities you think this opens up for Avatar Tech, or maybe just for Newark in general, for people looking to build their careers in tech here?
Oh, I think it's a huge opportunity for us, but it's a even larger opportunity for, I believe, Newark and the folks that because we're engaged in training and engaged in creating those pathways. We're looking forward to like expanding that pathway to the union as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how we expand that pathway is to continue doing what we're doing in terms of prepping with pre-apprenticeship training and getting people certified with real skills. And we've just got a fantastic email from a gentleman who graduated from our. So it's not just the folks that I hire personally, but I collaborate with other companies to do hiring as well. So I'm not above that. I love rolling up the sleeve with other companies and figuring out how to tackle these problems. The training program itself is a collaborative effort. And this gentleman got a job with Altice, he said he's starting off at $90,000.
Hey, okay.
And he wanted to thank the program and thank us for giving him the skills, the tools, and the confidence to go after that position. So it's stories like that that keep us going and submitting, more applications to get more funding to affect more people.
Right. Another success story there.
Yeah. Another success story. Yeah. So there's a success stories happening within the company and even in other companies.
Right. Well, this has been great. Lots of insight. Learn more about you that I didn't know before we started talking today. Last question. We always like to end sort of on a fun note, but we're going to ask you to pay it forward a bit.
Okay.
Can you shout out a Newark business that you really love and tell all the listeners why you think everybody should check them out?
Okay. Wow. There are I have to only choose one?
Well, I'll give you two.
Two? Okay. Pop-up print. My homegirl, Emifa.
Okay.
Who does a lot of
your stuff?
Yeah, does a lot. You've probably seen some of our branded sweaters and stuff that all my guys wear. She's our go-to, and the hats. We've got the caps. That also gives me a little chance to feel like I'm a fashion designer of sorts. Emifa helps me bring that to life with pop-up print on Warren Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's one. You got another one?
PJ's Coffee, Islam.
Mm-hmm.
That gentleman has been, just wonderful. He's got great food, a great spot to do meetings over there.
I've done it myself. Yes.
Center.
Yeah. Yep.
Center.
Yep.
And he's always making himself available for like catering and things like that.
You're right.
So those are. I have more, but I'll stop there.
You stop there. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. We really appreciate that. Garth, always a pleasure sitting down with you or running into you formally and informally. So really appreciate this conversation, the way you've highlighted how technology and community development go hand in hand. From building fiber networks to building future careers, you do both of those things. And your work reminds us that investing in people is as crucial as investing in infrastructure. So we appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you. Can I say something too?
Yes, please do.
I have to say too, I couldn't do this without the support that I've received from the city of Newark, but especially in Invest Newark as well too.
Appreciate that.
We've gotten you all recognized our talent early as a company, and we won certain RFPs competing with a lot of other big companies, and we're on the emergency maintenance contract for a number of years, and you all operate in a very ethical and great business manner with prompt payments and stuff, which is crucial for small businesses like mine. So I just want to tip my hat to you and the team, and let you know that I appreciate you all. And like I told Emily about this interview, like if you guys call and ask me to do something, I'm there because you guys have always been there.
We appreciate that. We appreciate the partnership and the great work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yep. So to our listeners, there's so much opportunity right here in Newark for those willing to connect, collaborate, and innovate. As always, don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and come back for more conversations with the people who are Newark Made. Thank you.